Bonjour, my name is Abigail Esposito, and tonight I will be discussing religion in France. First, I wanted to introduce the religious composition of France, with Catholicism being the most popular, Islam the second, Protestantism the third, Judaism the fourth, and other/no religious affiliation as the fifth. Catholicism in France. France is historically regarded as la fille aînée d'Anglais, the eldest daughter of the Roman Catholic Church, because France was the first country to become officially Catholic. Although Catholicism is the dominant religion, France is a deeply secular country. The role of organized religion in the lives of the people in France has greatly diminished since the revolutions of 1780 and 1804. Many French people who have counted as belonging to the Catholic religion have not been active in the religion. The vast majority of Catholics in France do not attend church regularly or even at all. The Catholic Church in France is viewed as quite progressive and keeping in step with changes that the modern society brings. The former Archbishop of Paris in 1981, Jean-Marie Lusquer, was born to Jewish parents in Paris in 1926, and he converted to the Catholic religion at the young age of 14. La laïcité. The French religious policy, known as the concept of laïcité, is a strict separation of the church and state under which the public life is considered deeply secular. The French Revolution of 1789 saw a radical shift in the status of the church with the launch of the de-Christianization campaign. After the back and forth of the Catholic, royal, and secular Republican governments during the 19th century, laïcité was established under the Third Republic and codified under 1905 law with the separation of church and state. In 1958, the Constitution of the Fifth Republic in France guarantees all freedom of religion. France's laïcité is a more strict and clear-cut than the United States policy of separation of church and state. Religious references are made on U.S. currency within the U.S. Pledge of Allegiance and by swearing on the Bible when in court. France does not have these religious references in their government. They possess an absolute separation of the church and the state. Islam in France. Islam today constitutes the second largest religion in all of Europe. There are currently believed to be about 5 million Muslims in France, many of whom are from North African descent. Muslims first started immigrating to France in large numbers during the 1950s and 1960s when France needed manpower to sustain its economic boom. There is a beautiful mosque in Paris that was guaranteed permission to be built in the country's capital. The Third Republic of France allowed the construction of the mosque because the government wanted to earn the loyalty of the numerous Muslim subjects within Paris. The Muslim community in France has been at the center of several controversies, including various attacks from the right-wing politician groups during the 1980s, and more recently, the issue of the banning of the headscarves in public schools for Muslims. Judaism in France. France has had a Jewish community since the Roman times. However, this was largely wiped out in the Middle Ages since they were prosecuted and eventually expelled. French Jews gained full citizenship for the first time in 1790 and since 1808. The Jewish community has organized an umbrella called the Conservatoire, meaning conservatory, to serve their interests and needs. Although most of the anti-Semitism tensions from World War II are non-existent, there are some still lingering fascist ideals and anti-Semitism feelings through the nation that face the French Jews today. President Jacques Chirac has made efforts to apologize towards all the Judaism followers for France's role during the Holocaust and for all of France's crimes against the Jewish people since the Renaissance. President Chirac's apologetic remarks helped to extinguish some of these anti-Semitic hostilities. Today, there are estimated to be around 650,000 Jews in France, many of whom are recent immigrants who came from Morocco or Algeria. The Jewish people in France are mainly located in the northern region of Alsace, close to Germany. Protestantism in France. The Protestant religion is represented by 1 million French people in France. Once called Huguenots, Protestants in France were severely persecuted by the Catholic government during the 16th and 17th centuries. France's Protestants are located in the mainly southeastern part of the Massif Central, the Jura, and Alsace in northern France. John Calvin, the famous reformer for the Protestant religion, was born in northern France in 1509, and he was educated in Paris. However, he spent most of his adult life and work in Geneva. At the time of the Reformation in France, the Protestant faith took root in many areas, notably the southern area of France. Although discouraged, Protestantism was tolerated. In 1598, Henry IV, a Protestant, converted to Catholicism in order to gain the French crown. After he became king, he created the Edict de Nantes, a law that guaranteed freedom of religion to the Protestants in France. However, the Protestants became less tolerated when Louis XIV became king. He revoked the Edict de Nantes in 1685. This is my bibliography, and merci beaucoup.